You're going to end you.
Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Just CHOPSING podcast. David's shitting a brick because we've got a guest on. If he comes on now, I'm a bit late sending the link, but we'll see.
I keep it quiet.
Don't keep too quiet because he might not turn up yet.
Apparently, so you know when you said about pet hates, and I said I didn't have any.
Yeah.
So my daughter listened to the podcast and basically sent me a text of about 5 or 6 of them straight away. So I would say I'm probably quite intolerable of most people.
Okay, fair enough.
And then I went out shopping last night, and all the pet hates that Shannon listed, I did apparently in the middle of Asda's. So I was doing Sarah's editing last night.
Okay.
Which is good, so hopefully she won't take me shopping again.
Oh, well, that's always a bonus.
That's right, definitely.
Shopping, isn't it? Flipping
yeah.
I got another funny news story.
Yeah.
Headline. And again, it's an unborn baby and a name.
Okay.
And this time, I'm not going to get it. This woman says, every time my neighbor calls her cat's name, I have a serious anxiety attack, or whatever she said about it, because her unborn child is going to be called the same as the cat.
Oh, no.
So the cat's name is Isla.
Okay.
So the baby's name is also going to be Isla. And I was thinking, well, I just hope their surname's not White, otherwise it's going to be a real mess.
I know.
Isla White. So she dreads it every time the neighbour calls the cat in. But in fairness, it's a rescue cat and it already had the name. So
okay, you can't change it.
There's always time to change your unborn baby's name, you know.
I think that's what she needs to do, doesn't she?
If we can give her some advice.
That's right.
I don't know what's going on with all these name stories, but
crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So, what else has been happening?
Nothing much with me, really. I've been listening a lot to the our special guest.
Okay.
So I've been checking out their music. So I guess we can tell them that they're a singer. So
singer-songwriter.
Yeah, and I'm well impressed. I got to be honest. I'm a fan.
Is he ginger?
So, no.
Okay, it's not Ed Sheeran then.
No, thankfully. Because I would not be able to interview Ed Sheeran, I'm afraid. Because I'm really not a fan. So if he ever comes on, you'll have to do Ed on your own.
I'm not very good at doing Ed.
No, I'm saying maybe not the right thing to say.
Not on a male anyway. I'm all right on a female.
Oh dear.
So yeah.
I'm steaming up already.
So you got your Perla t-shirt on today?
Yes. So I'm representing Perla today.
Okay.
So we're a band from South Wales, from Neath.
Okay.
So I will tell everybody a bit more about them after our special guest and share their EPs and things like that.
Okay. Maybe he's more nervous than us and he's not going to come on, but
yeah, because I haven't brought the EPs up.
So yeah, not much else happening over here either, really.
No.
Well,
weather's
beautiful outside, so
yeah, lovely, isn't it? It is nice.
Is it nice over there?
Lockdown in Wales. Yes, done it, and they've reduced the lockdown a bit, so we're able to travel further than 5 miles, as long as we don't leave Wales. So we can go wherever we want pretty much in Wales, and we can have I think it was 6 people in the garden.
Okay.
Socially distanced, but only from 2 households. So it's
okay.
getting there. Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it? Which is good.
Yeah. I wish it was getting there over here, but
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
No.
They haven't really announced anything different from last week, so we're still pretty stuck.
Yeah, I think it's probably over here. It's because of the vaccines going so well.
Oh, yeah.
And I've heard Boris has he's gone out with his shopping bag and he's buying it from everywhere he possibly can now to make sure that he can finish it.
Well, I heard he's just bought 60 million vaccines from Novax.
Yeah.
Well, Novax is a bit of a misnomer, or not? Novax.
Do you reckon?
A vaccination called Novax. And they just, there's nothing in it. No, that went over David's head for all the listeners.
Oh, man.
So you didn't think about that? Boris buying Novax for, how much did he pay? That's a big question.
It is, yeah. 60 million. Probably. Or billion.
60 million for nothing. Syringes full of water. So
hooking up his buddies again.
Probably. From Novax.
Yeah.
I saw something about it earlier and I was like, buying vaccinations from a company called Novax. That's it's like over here we've got a supermarket called Empty. And
really?
Yeah, why would you call a supermarket called Empty? Oh, hello, here we are.
How's it going?
Hello, James.
How's your things, man?
Good, and you?
All right, man. Yeah, I just, nice to put a face to the name,
Well, yeah, you haven't seen my face before?
I haven't seen anybody's face other than my own and my girlfriend's for like what feels like forever. So I've forgotten all prior human contact.
I mean, we did meet on everybody's favorite non-dating site, Twitter. So,
well, yeah. I got a little bit worried then when you started talking about dating sites. I was like, oh shit, come on.
Non-dating site, they said. But yeah, so how are you, James?
I'm all right, man. Yeah, nice to have a bit of sunshine today for the first time in forever,
Yeah.
So being, I had lots of plans that went out the window as soon as I went outside to work, and then ended up just drinking a couple of beers in the cold beers in the sun.
As you do.
Yeah. How about you guys? You good? You staying safe? You staying well in all this carnage?
Well, I'm in Holland, so we're still a bit locked down over here.
Right.
And there's no light at the end of the tunnel at the moment, so
yeah,
it's a bit of a nightmare, David was just saying that they've started releasing some restrictions in Wales, but so that's promising.
Everybody's rushing at pen and van now. They can all they can.
That's the problem. Like every time they kind of like loosen the restrictions a bit, everybody goes absolutely hog wild, and then it spikes up again.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I'm just waiting. I'm not gonna, as much as I want to go to the beach and go out and stuff, I'm just waiting for everyone else to get out of this system first, and then I'll go out when the chaos has died down a little bit, But yeah, I mean the weather's good. It's half term this week, so all the schools are off again, and I can't imagine what it's like out there.
No. Well, just wait till everybody's died and then we'll be safe to go out.
We can only hope.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
So, James, tell us where you're from and a little bit about yourself.
Well, South Wales boy, born in Cardiff.
Okay.
I live now in the valleys. I won't say which town, but
no, you don't want a fan mob.
No, exactly. I've kept my location. I'm not just fans, but some of the people that I've offended through my my various social media posts and books. So we'll keep that secret. But yeah, South Wales Valleys. South Wales born and bred, man. So that's me. I've moved all over. I was raised in a place called Little Mill, which most people have never heard of. It's
I
kind
know
of outside Pony. Yeah, of course. Yeah, really.
Yeah. Outdoor
Yeah,
dress.
So that's like proper village stuff. Like we didn't even have a shop or anything. It was just like one pub and nothing else for miles. No corner shop, nothing. So I was kind of raised there for a bit. I lived in Barry, which was like a city, kind of right in the heart of the bustling town centre, and then moved to Little Mill. Then Caerphilly, then moved back to Cardiff, all over the place. Yeah, I'm what they call a mountain goat.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, as I say, but you've never been out of Wales then to live?
No. Well,
Not like, yeah.
Not in my upbringing, but
No.
since then I have ventured outside of.
Oh, yeah. You've been allowed over the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just we want to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Sure thing. Fire away.
David is very intrigued by you. We've been listening to some of your stuff, your new stuff especially.
Oh God.
And it's pretty rocking, man. Your latest album. And,
thanks, man.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm waiting for your book. It's going to be delivered tomorrow, so I can't really read up on anything yet. And you can give us a few stories out of that later, I guess.
Probably a good idea we got the interview in there before you've read the book, because
why am I in it?
I don't want you turning up at my doorstep, so that's why I was hesitant to give you my address.
Okay, so fire away, Dave.
Yeah, okay. Welcome to the show then, James. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us, man.
I'm a bit nervous, man. I got to be honest, because when Terry introduced you, I started looking into your background and your bio and on your website. And I said to Terry, he's like a proper bona fide artist, mind this guy. I don't know. He's not like, he's so.
Not like
checked out all your checked out all your albums. So what sort of age were you when you started getting into singing, songwriting and playing your instruments? Because I know you're a multi-instrumentalist as well.
I got my guitar for my 9th birthday, and I had no interest in playing an instrument at that point, but my dad stole it from somewhere, just because he couldn't, didn't know what the hell to get me for my birthday. I got a brother and sister as well. My parents were sort of like a low-income family, so my dad just had to find another present to get another birthday present for another kid, and he managed to steal this guitar from somewhere, like a little Spanish acoustic thing. Yeah. So I got that for my 9th birthday, and I was like, the fuck is this? I don't want a guitar. I wanted whatever the cool toy was at that time, But but then he showed me to play like a little blues riff on it, which was all he could play, and I picked it up straight away, and I was hooked instantly. I was like obsessed. So guitar was my main passion, which I kind of discovered it when I was 9. I've just taught myself how to play then. By the time I was like 15, I was playing in clubs around Newport in a band and everything, and I could properly play. I was better then than I am now. Ever since then, it's just been music. I got into music production. Then my first job was working in a recording studio when I was 20. So I learned how to do production and play, different instruments and stuff there. And I released my first album when I was 22. So it's just been, it's been that fast, really.
How old are you now?
Cool. Yeah, that's cool. How
old are you now?
40 now, man.
Oh, he's still a baby yet.
That's right.
Compared to me, anyway.
So I've been messing about with my toys a long time now.
Yeah.
That's cool. So who are your main musical inspirations then? Maybe when you were growing up and perhaps now?
Major ones. I mean, like the stuff I'm into changes all the time, but my sort of top 10 is pretty like concrete. It's like the guys that really had a massive impact on me would be like Frank Zappa, Roger Waters from Pink Floyd, and then all the 90s bands, because like when the grunge thing was happening, I was like a teenager, and that was my gang, you know what I mean? That's like all my friends were into the metal stuff, and I was kind of into that stuff because I was a guitar player, but from a songwriting perspective and things like that, grunge really sort of like spoke to me more than the hair rock stuff, which is all about whiskey and strippers and stuff. Like the grunge stuff seemed a bit more authentic, So yeah, so like all the 90s bands, like Soundgarden, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, all that stuff. But like my main guys who like I said, blew my mind was be like Frank Zappa. I think would be, if I could pick one guy that musically just changed everything for me, would be when Frank Zappa finally made sense. I was like, oh shit, because like my back catalog is kind of you can see that I've learned a lot from Frank in the sense that like I jump from genre to genre, from album to album. So I'll do like my first solo album was like really experimental electronic instrumental stuff, and then the next album was like an acoustic folk album, and then the album before that was like progressive alternative rock. So I think when I discovered Zappa, it kind of made it okay to just do whatever the fuck you want, you know, however you want and on your own terms, you know. And so even though musically I'm not that inspired, you can't hear his music in my music, but I think just his approach and his attitude definitely inspired the way I sort of wrote music.
Yeah, the biggest thing I picked up, is kind of like the number of different genres within your style. Because I've obviously checked out your first album or your new album, and then I've gone backtracked through your other solo stuff, and then also look at, is it Kashira, the band you're in? Yeah. And the way that your music style changes throughout all those albums, I really spotted that. It's really cool. Really cool, man. It's good. I've been back to back on Spotify today listening to your stuff.
So, that was you. Thanks, man. I wonder where my 7 plays came from. That's going to be like coffee now in about 10 years of that. Thanks, man.
No problem. So one element I'm very interested in, because I'm just like a musical fan. I mean, I've just picked up the guitar and stuff. But you know, as far as music goes, I haven't got a clue really, apart from what I like to listen to. So kind of like, obviously a big part of what you do is the songwriting. So when you start the songwriting, do you have a number of like tunes and riffs and then a number of lyrics that you try and put together, or do you have a particular lyric that you want and then you try and adapt the sound to the message that you want to give?
I kind of a bit of both of those things, really. Like, I mean, because I've written 7 albums now, and I've written loads of songs for other people and stuff as well. So I've tried everything. I've kind of learned the hard way. Everything I've done, all the instruments that I can play and all the production, all the songwriting stuff, everything I do, I taught myself. So I've kind of learned everything the long way around. I've never really like had any lessons or anything. So I feel like my methodology now is quite well defined, but it's taken me a long time to figure it out. I've done it every other which way to get to this point. But my method now is basically what I do is all the best stuff that I've written has always been the stuff that just comes to me while I'm not looking for it, you know, while I'm driving or whatever. That's when you get that awesome melody or that awesome lyric that comes. So now all I do is I just catalog all that stuff when it comes. So like I'll keep my voice notes on my phone and I'll sing it in or play it in on the guitar or whatever, and then forget about it. And then it all kind of simmers away in the back of my mind, you know, for inspired by whatever I'm listening to at that time or whatever I'm, you know, interested in at that time. It kind of brews away in the back of my mind, and these ideas kind of come. And then it gets to the point where I've got a lot of stuff, a lot of riffs, a lot of lyrics, a lot of, you know, ideas, whatever it is. And there's probably like 2 albums worth of stuff there. So then all I do then is I just go through it all and I figure out, okay, like that would be a really cool chorus. So I just need to like put a verse on that. And it's just kind of a matter then of like organizing it all and finishing it off, you know. But I'm starting from a place of good ideas. I never sit down and work at a song from scratch. I always sit down and work at a song from a place of having all these little bits of ideas that came to me just from the ether, you know, whilst I was doing something else. Because I always feel like they're the best ones, you know, the ones that just come when you're not
struggling.
Yeah. So where do you pull your inspiration from then with the lyrics?
It's always depends on like what's bothering me at that time, you know, whether it's like Kashira was all political stuff. And I think it's like I did the first Kashira album when I was like 22. And I hadn't really lived enough life then really to add a lot of personal trauma to talk about, you know. And I was kind of like an angry young man. So it was all about globalization and capitalism and all that sort of stuff, you know. And by the time I got to the 3rd album, you know, I was approaching my 30s and stuff. And no, I was in my 30s actually at that point. I can't remember, a long time ago. But I started to experience a lot more personal issues then, so that the Third Kaishira album's all about existential issues, like what does it all mean, and and mortality and love and loss and all that sort of stuff. So it's just whatever I'm feeling, really. Like if I'm like this new album is all about Boris and Brexit and Trump and all this stuff that's happening. So and then the album before that, Home, was all about my mental health issues with like depression and drinking and insomnia and all that, and figuring out what's really important in life and all these kind of existential issues and things. So I just honestly write about whatever is true to me at that time. I can't really, I would find it impossible to, if someone said like, write a song about this, that, or the other, unless it comes from a place of like authenticity, I just couldn't do it, I don't think. So I just write about whatever is true to me at that time, whether it's politics or mental health and the next album might all be love songs, it's like, as long as it comes from a place of truth, I write it. And like Misfits is a case in point, I've never written a song like Misfits before, like musically or lyrically, but at the time that I wrote it, it was 100% legit as to how I was feeling. So as long as I can say that it was honest, then I put it out and I stand behind it.
Okay, I was just going to ask you about Misfits, actually. Do you still have the same girlfriend as you had then?
Luckily, yes.
Oh, brilliant. So you can still relate.
Yeah. Otherwise, the new girlfriend would be very pissed off.
Yeah, she would. It's like having a tattoo in it, a tattoo with the ex-girlfriend's name on it. Oh, now you've got to write me a song. So,
with my song.
Go on, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. So so your new album then, Make Anger Great Again. What would you say? So you've already said that the message on that then is all about Boris and what's happening currently then, is it, in the current climate?
Yeah, I wrote it like just before the lockdown. So I actually, funny enough, I actually picked up the master disc on March the 20th last year, the day that they announced the lockdown in the UK. I was actually at the studio picking up the master disc, and then it was like that's it, like from then on it was just stuck in the house, So I wrote it, I recorded it on those 2 months just before lockdown, and I wrote it all super quick. The whole thing was written and recorded in like 3 months. And obviously, I had no idea the lockdown was coming. All the Black Lives Matter protests and all the anti-lockdown protests and all the chaos that was kicking off. I could never have foreseen that. It was just, I was writing about the stuff before that, Brexit and, Trump and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like really ironic then that I was like, why aren't more people pissed off and taking to the streets and doing something about this stuff? And then like fast forward just a few months, and the whole world is kicking off.
Yeah,
good timing.
It is very, very good timing. Yeah,
but it didn't work in my favor, actually. You would have thought that I kind of captured a moment or something, by accident, and just happened to tap into the zeitgeist, but it didn't work in my favor at all. Like the first video, for the first single, The Power, YouTube took it down within a day of it going up.
Okay.
So I built up this campaign, this was the first single. I'm going to let people know the new sound and everything, and here's the kick-ass new song. And then within a day, they just took it down. They said that it was, what did they say? Shocking. It's shocking content.
Okay.
Which is like, so I think they were like super sensitive because, with the election coming up in America and all the protests, and like protests in America are different to what they are in the UK. It's like, big shotguns out to the protest, so my lyrics, they didn't really take it the right way and stuff. So YouTube took it down for a few days. I managed to get them to put it back after a few days, but only on condition that I wouldn't promote it on the site, which kind of defeated the object.
Yeah, okay.
So what I did to promote it was that basically killed the momentum of the whole campaign. And Facebook did the same. They wouldn't let me promote it on Facebook either. So what I did was every time Donald Trump tweeted, which is like every 5 seconds, right? I would reply to Donald Trump with a link to the top saying "Make anger great again" with like a big fist or a big middle finger.
Okay.
And
MAGA.
And it went from 0 views because YouTube wouldn't let anybody see it. It went from 0 views to like 14,000 plays, like in a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever it was. And a lot of it was like pissed off Trump fans who were like slagging me off, and I've got a whole collection of like threats and comments. But I had to sort of be resourceful and do what I could do to keep it moving, But
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it didn't work in my favor, to be honest. The timing didn't.
Yeah. Not like Robbie Williams then.
No.
Well, that's a shame, because you could have swung under the MAGA branch from Donald Trump, with his "Make America Great Again" and your "Make Anger Great Again," and you should have put your MAGA hat on.
That was the whole point, and I thought that was like a really cool kind of ironic twist on the MAGA thing. I was going to like hijack it, but no, I realized if you hashtag MAGA, Twitter they just filter it out, because all the tech companies are kind of like liberal, so they weren't supporting Trump. So it was going to be MAGA, and then I thought all the Trump fans would be like, "Hey, boy, check me out." And then they'd realize that I was actually criticizing that stuff.
Yeah.
But no, in the end, I was like, right, take MAGA off, avoid any mention of it, because I just cannot promote this bloody album because of the title. So
yeah,
kind of stuck a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
It's a nightmare.
Go on, Dave.
What's your favorite track off there then, James?
It does change, but I think I like The Power. I think that's a good, there's no fat on that song, it just kicks in straight down to business. It says it all, loud and clear. There's no messing about. And I can't wait to play that one live. That's I'm in the process of putting a band together right now to tour the album, whenever that's going to be. And the guys are sending me, they're recording the parts and everything, sending it over. And I can't. I'm getting excited listening to it, because it's like as soon as we play that live, just fucking.
Yeah. You're looking for a drummer.
Drummers all we need now, man. I've got lots of interest, but it's like drummers are funny ones, man, because they all play in about 15 different bands, and so you get these guys like I mean I've already got like people already that would be perfect for the job. People I know, people I've worked with already that would easily the best drummers you've ever met in the world, but they just they're all in 15 bands. That's the problem. So they're like, oh yeah, I'm totally up for it, man. I'm away on tour with my other bands for 10 months of the year, but other than that, I'm totally up for it. So, so it's finding that guy that gets the fact that you have to kind of be available as well. So but as soon as you get a drummer, man, we're good to go. And the band are awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I just want to touch on a point, something you just said earlier about you writing songs for other people.
Yeah.
Have you written for anybody famous?
Not really. No, I did a lot of work. I don't know if you've heard the music record producer, a Welsh producer called Greg Haver. He's done a lot of stuff with the Manic Street Preachers, and he did like Mel C and people like that. He lives in New Zealand now. He's like a #1 selling producer down in New Zealand. But he worked in a studio called Modern World in the Cotswolds for many years. And I was kind of like a house writer for him for a bit. So I would work with a lot of that were coming in from Europe. And I think, the only one that was kind of famous at the time was Katie Wazel. She was off the X Factor.
Okay.
And,
Never heard of her.
Wrote a couple of songs with her. But it was like, it's mostly like alternative bands from like Germany and some pop singers that had some hits, but then never went further and stuff like that. So it was kind of a cool experience to be in a massive professional studio with a proper team of session musicians and producers and stuff like that. But I was kind of like the fix-it guy. So if they needed like a lyric or a bridge wasn't working, I would go and hang out and just get my 5%, doing that. Yeah. But I've written I've done a lot of stuff with my missus, Kat Southall. She's got a new album coming out, and I did a lot of stuff on her last album. And just my friends' bands and things like that, but probably nobody you've heard of.
Okay, cool. Dave?
Good. So obviously we're currently in lockdown. So how's that affected you as an artist?
It hasn't affected me. I hate to say it, man, because I know a lot of people are really struggling and really feeling it, especially in the music business and stuff. But I've been okay. I mean, I haven't performed in a year, which is the longest ever for me in 20 odd years. But apart from that, not a lot's changed because I'm quite reclusive anyway. I live in a detached house, so there's no neighbors. The view is just fields, basically, and mountains. So I've got no awareness of what's going on in the world
Anyway.
outside my curtains, which is quite nice. And because I'm realizing the perks of being 100% independent, like myself, is that it doesn't really matter to me if the label is closed, because the label is the room behind me. You know what I mean? So I all the royalties I get from streaming and the PRS stuff and the radio play and things like that, there's no middlemen with me. I get 100% of that stuff. So whereas a lot of the bands are realizing now that they're not making any money on on the stuff outside of touring and performing, it's different for me because I don't get the type of activity that someone like Radiohead would get. I'm not getting gazillions of streams every day, but then they're only getting 5% of that revenue split between them at the end of it, whereas I get far less streams and far less radio play, but I get 100% of the revenue. So I've managed to stay afloat pretty well, to be honest. I mean, it hasn't really affected my life. I've actually got lots more done. I've released a book in this time, and I'm being commissioned now to write a second book, which is quite cool. Been promoting the album, so yeah, it's been okay, man. I mean, if I said that it was really hard, man, and I'd be struggling, I'd be offending everyone that's actually got real problems. It's been okay for me.
That's good to hear. That's really good news. Really good to hear. Okay, do you want to tell us a bit about your book?
I can't tell you about the one that I'm currently writing because that's super secret. But the book Noise Damage came out October last year, and in January this year it went to #1 on Amazon, which was amazing, in 3 different charts. And it was the second best-selling rock biography behind Roger Daltrey for a day or something. So that was kind of cool.
Brilliant.
I had my day in the sun, and then it went back down to number 100 behind Ozzy Osbourne and Bruce Dickinson and all those guys. But I managed to get a screen grab while it was number 1, number 2, which is cool. But it's basically it's a rock biography from the perspective of a band that wasn't a successful band. So it's about my time in Kaishira, basically struggling as an independent band, getting screwed over by everybody, traveling around in a van, sleeping in the van, showering in the car park with bottled water and all that sort of stuff. And it's the story of most bands, I think. 99% of most actual bands in the world live that reality. They don't live the reality in all the other rock memoirs that you get, where it's all sex, drugs and rock and roll and groupies and cocaine. That's 1% of the lucky bastards. That's not everybody else.
That's the lottery winners.
Exactly, that's totally what it is. They just they just knocked out, and good to them. And they they make amazing stories. We've all read the books. I love them as much as anybody else. But once you've read one, you've read them all. And I just don't think it's an honest representation of what the music industry is really like for most working musicians. And I honestly don't think that many people in the public appreciate exactly what goes on behind the scenes, how hard we get screwed, how little we get paid, how hard we have to work, the crap we go through. So I thought, well, I'll tell that story, and I use everybody's real name in there, everybody that's ever fucked us over, all the managers and label guys. I put their name in there and stuff, and I put digressions in there where I explain how the business works, when you're on this side of the fence, not on that side of the fence.
Yeah.
And I talk about my mental health decline and my alcohol dependency, and how the chase and the struggle and the dream kind of ended up taking over my personal life and affecting everything else, like my relationships, my finances and things. So I think it's kind of a roller coaster. It's got the highs and the lows, and the thrill of going out on tour with your mates in a van and playing some shows. And I put all the good stuff in there as well. And there's loads of road stories and a little bit of sex, drugs and rock and roll as well. But I just think that it's a different rock and roll memoir. It's not what you're going to get from Nikki Sixx or whatever. It's something that I think more bands and most musicians could probably relate to.
Yeah, I can relate to it for sure. I managed the band for a few years, and I was the manager, the road manager. I had all the guys living with me. You know, I was putting them all up, feeding them everything I could do for them. I was doing it. I was the driver. I was everything, you know. And the struggle is real. You know, we did 16 shows, the Golden Earring. That's the biggest Dutch band ever there's ever been, you know, and they're paying us 500 quid a show while they're making, you know, tens of thousands. And it is a real struggle, and I do know the struggles myself. So I've been there and done that. Even though we signed to a label, we didn't make any money. I still get royalty statements from them every year. You know, so it's like minus 30 grand. So it is real.
Well, hopefully you said you got the book now, so you'll probably be reading the book and you'll be like, yeah.
Yeah. Be there, done that. Got the t-shirt.
Yeah.
So any more, Dave?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, ask a question. If you've got any advice for any would-be starting singer-songwriters, musicianists, well, I guess the best thing really is to buy your book, and we'll promote your book.
To be honest, if they read the book, I think the message they get from that is run a mile and go and get a job as an accountant or something.
Yeah.
But
I'll try a little on the X Factor.
Yeah. Well, I looked into that in the book, so hopefully they'll get the message loud and clear that is like a one-way road to doom, and you know, as well. Like, everybody I know that's ever been on those shows is just playing the same local social clubs as everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Waste of your time. But real advice I would give to people is like, from my own experience, because I've been in a band that spent a long time trying to get a deal and doing all this stuff in the rule book, you know, like playing in London, doing showcases, you know, all the stuff that they say you're supposed to do, try and get attention from the wizard that's going to make it all happen.
Yeah.
And I learned the hard way that that's a waste of time. It took me 10 years to get the message, but I did eventually. And I think what's worked out best for me is doing everything myself. So if I would give any advice to anyone, I would say that now is probably a better time than ever to be starting out in the music business, because back in the good old days, you know, if you couldn't get a record deal, it was over. That was it. You couldn't make your own record in your bedroom and put it on the internet for free. You know, that was it. You couldn't do it. So at least now, you know, if you can't get a record deal, it doesn't really matter too much, because, you know, you can make, like I made all of Make Anchor Great Again in this chair right in the room right behind me. I made the whole album right by there for free. It didn't cost me anything. And you can do that now. Anybody can make an album in their bedroom on GarageBand or whatever, on the tablet, put it on the internet, put it on Spotify. You can use social media to promote yourself. All the tools are freely available, which is a first. That just wasn't an option before. And I think we take that for granted because so little money is made with streaming and stuff. I think we forget that, like, there wasn't even that option before, you know? So that would be my advice. Do everything, do as much as you can by yourself for as long as you can. Learn how to use Photoshop, learn how to make a record, learn how to promote yourself on social media, learn how to make videos on Instagram or whatever. Take advantage of the tools, you know? The downside to that, and there's always a downside, is how do you make any money? How do you pay your rent when you're doing that? Because, you know, there is so little money in any of this anymore. And the other obstacle is, like, how do you get heard above the masses of absolutely everybody else in the world who's also on Spotify and on Facebook and on Instagram? But, you know, I don't know the answer to those things really, but I do know that, you know, you're still able to make music and you're still able to put it out there without being dependent on anybody. And how you get heard, you'll just have to be creative and figure that out, you know, but the tools are there for you. So use them as long as you can, and avoid labels until you've got something going, until you've got a bit of momentum and you've got, you know, a bit of power behind you. Then if the labels come sniffing, you're talking to them from a position of strength, you know, rather than weakness.
Yeah. But going back to, I was looking at your bio, and going back to you saying 2002, that the music, you felt the music industry screwed you over. It collapsed at the time, you said. Was that due to Spotify and the likes of digital streaming and such?
Yeah, when I lived in that village I mentioned earlier, Little Mill, at the shop, that's when I did my first album, the first Kashira album made in China. but I didn't have a band at the time, so it was like Kennedy made in China. And I sent it out to a pile of magazines and stuff like that and radio stations just to see what the response was, and it just snowballed. I was getting like Radio 1, I was getting played on Radio 1, I was getting like double page spreads in the magazines, and I had Sony on the phone, I had Warner Brothers on the phone, and it was looking like, wow, literally overnight success sort of thing,
Yeah.
And I was this little kid that was going back and forth to London for meetings and boardrooms and stuff, and it was super exciting. And Warner on the phone every week looking for new material and stuff, and it was like really exciting, But then, literally within the space of that year, the industry just nosedived. All those guys within like a year later didn't have jobs anymore. Their phone number was like, no longer available. Emails bouncing back, labels were closing down left, right, and center, and the winter had properly arrived.
Yeah.
But it's only with hindsight, looking back at everything that's transpired since, that I'm able to sort of see that. At the time, I was just really confused, like, what the fuck, 1 minute I was the golden boy and everyone was loving me, and then all of a second these guys don't exist anymore, and there's no labels and no one cares. So yeah, I was sort of like, I arrived on the scene just at the start of that whole kind of 10-year period that CNN called it music's lost decade, and I arrived just at the start of that lost decade, and my band, Kaishira, we struggled through that for 10 years, putting out 3 albums, doing our own tours and everything, just wondering, why the fuck can't we get a break? I mean, like a few years ago, everybody, thought this band was amazing, and now all of a sudden, we can't, nobody will take our call. We were just confused. We didn't realize what we were in the middle of. We were just plowing on and getting pissed off and frustrated. But now with hindsight, I can put it in the proper context.
Yeah. Well, because I listened to, do you know Sean Smith from The Blackout? Do you know the band The Blackout? Yeah. I listened to Sean's podcast, and he goes on about, I mean, they were quite a successful band also, The Blackout, and but they didn't make any money either. Yeah. All their money goes back into touring, and it is such a difficult industry. And like I said, it is really, for the big boys, it is really like winning the lottery, Yeah. I mean, it's a one in a, I would say it's a 1 in a million chance. It's probably more like a 1 in a 5 million chance, to be honest.
Well, I think the major label, the process they use is very much the same as it's always been. So they'll sign up about 50 bands in a month, and they'll plow a ton of money into each one, and whichever one sticks for whatever reason, they're the work mule then that has to pay for all the losses of the other bands. So
that's right.
You don't make any money with a major label until you've done like 3 or 4 albums with them. You've been touring consistently, and that's how they make all the money back and all the losses they've made on you and all the other bands. But that's a model that they still stick to. We all think that, and anyone that signs a major record deal, like they hit the jackpot. Well, it's them and 49 other dudes that month have also signed to the same label. And I think what they do is they just throw stuff at the wall, and whichever one sticks for whatever reason, that's the one they go for. And then they go and sign another 50 acts to sound just like that, who don't work out. So, there's so many bands that do have the Blackout experience. They go on tour with big bands and they get all the money pumped into them to get them on the front cover of magazines and stuff like that. Yeah. But, and then it fizzles out just the same as it does with anybody else, So I really feel like those guys that do get the deal and do survive for 3 or 4 album cycles till they start making money, the bands like Coldplay and Muse and, all the big bands that we know of, they're the lucky of the lucky,
that's right.
They were lucky to get signed in the first place, and then they're lucky enough to survive the process long enough to be able to become a bankable band that has a career, because most people don't make it that far, That's why I just feel like if I was to give advice to bands, I would say, that's a lot of luck to put your faith and your energy into. I would rather put my energy into doing my own thing. At least I know that someone's doing the work then,
Yeah, I mean, Coldplay were extremely lucky, and they're still lucky now, I think, to be honest. Not my sort of thing,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey, and that's the thing with major label bands. I mean, every now and then you get that golden moment where it just happens, where you get a Pink Floyd or you get a Metallica or something like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, what you're getting is mass market, safe candy floss, whatever, whatever is at that time,
Yeah. But is Muse an inspiration of yours? I do
Not
hear some
really.
Muse, like some Muse style stuff in your music.
Yeah, we Kaishira got compared to Muse quite a lot because we were like a three-piece, and
Okay.
there are similarities. But I was never really into Muse. I liked some of the early stuff, but I think the similarities for us is because we probably got the same influences. Like even
Okay.
you're a big Radiohead influence
Yeah.
and a big Jeff Buckley influence in them, and I was a big Jeff Buckley and Radiohead fan as well. So
Yeah.
I think like I mean they were a few years ahead of Kaishira. I think they were like late 90s. Muse came on
Yeah.
the scene. It was like 2005 I think was our first gig. So yeah, not really. A lot of the references that people make to the music, like a lot of people say that they can hear Mars Volta in Kaishira as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, they're a cool band, but I was never into them.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's just similar influences, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. With Zappa and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if David's heard of Frank Zappa, to be honest. He's not quite as old as me.
Or me, probably.
No, he's older than you.
I'm much older than you.
So, no real cool stories from your book?
Cool
I don't know if
stories from
you.
my book.
I don't know if you listened to our last podcast, but I told a story on there about me winning a raffle, and what came before it and what came after it, sort of thing. So I
Right.
don't know if you got any cool stories
Oh man,
of being
bloody
on the
hell.
road.
My soul has been bathed in noise damage, so all my
Okay.
kind of like my low and unproud moments are in the book, and there are many, man. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know. I mean, nearly dying in my pants on top of an apartment in Toronto in a fetal position at 5 a.m, freezing cold and blind drunk was probably not one of my prouder moments, like smashing up a transit van because I was like so frustrated, losing my mind on tour in France, and we didn't have a hotel room to trash up because I was sleeping in the driver's seat of the van, so I trashed out instead.
Threw a TV out the window.
Yeah. No TV, but everything else went out the window. Whatever I could find went out the window, and the boys just sat in the back of the van like, "Oh fuck it, what's he doing now?"
So you didn't have a
I mean,
2-inch
like,
TV in the van then?
I mean, just like nothing glamorous like driving limos into pools. Just the gradual unraveling of people's soul. Picking doors off hotel room picking the doors off hotel rooms. But they weren't hotels. They were like really awful shit hostels.
Yeah.
With like 12 people sleeping in them and everything. So we ended up just like booting the door off it and stuff. Just stupid shit. Just what happens to three guys when you're like doing everything on a shoestring, drinking way too much, with all your own driving, sleeping on floors, losing your mind, getting screwed over and getting pissed off. I mean, screws are going to come out at some point.
Of course, yeah. Might just come out regularly.
Yeah. So there was a lot of that with us, just like drinking too much and getting involved with shady characters and So I mean, you'll have to read the book to get the full download on all the many shenanigans you got up to.
I will. I'll receive it tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, great! I hope you enjoy it, man. Thanks for grabbing it as well.
Yeah, that's no worries. Puts 12 quid in your pocket, I suppose.
Yeah, thanks, man. Well, the publisher get half of that. So.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you need to build another room and publish it yourself next time.
I know, yeah, man. Well, to be honest, like probably made more money off books already than I have off music. So
get your missus on the printing press.
Yeah. Well, she's got a new album coming out, so I'm hoping that I'm gonna be a kept man. She can go and be the rock star, and I can, Yeah.
What was the name again? You have to give me your socials.
It's Cat Southall. It's Cat with a C, so like like the animal. Cat Southall. She used to sing in a band called Hey Hello, which was Ginger Wildheart's side project.
Okay.
I've seen it live. They were up Steelhouse.
That was her. Yeah. That's her. So she's got a new album coming out. She's working on it at the moment, and it's awesome. It sounds really cool. So that's probably going to come out either later this year or next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Oh, check that out.
Yeah,
we'll
check it
talk about her after Tess. She's very fit.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Wait till he's gone. She's not like the soap girls, is she? She gets a kit off on stage.
No, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh, no. Denim and leather, man. Denim and leather.
Oh, a bit of Susie
Yeah, no,
Quattro
they were
going on,
cool.
is it?
Yeah. Yeah, why she puts up with me, I got no idea. But I'm supporting her. I'm supporting her in her rock stardom, and hopefully she can, she can go and hold that flag for the two of us, and I can sit in the garden, drinking tea. I'm really boring now, man. I gave up drinking 3 years ago. I haven't had a drop of alcohol since May, 2018. It must have been, May the 23rd. And I don't smoke, I don't take drugs or anything like that. All the things I've done in noise damage, I no longer do. So I'm really old and middle-aged now, and I'm happy because kind of like, sitting in the garden in my pajamas with a nice, easy life,
Yeah, I'm the same, man. I always prefer a cup of tea now.
Me too, man. Me too. I never thought I would get to the point in my life where I would appreciate the sheer joy of a good pair of slippers and a cup of tea, but I'm there,
Yeah. But are you a Tetley guy or are you a PG Tips guy? That's the question.
I'm actually a herbal guy.
Oh, herbal tea, okay.
Yeah.
I don't like herbal tea or flavored tea.
I'm not even hardcore enough to drink actual tea. I drink tea.
I've gone to the dark side.
Oh yeah, man. Jogging. I go jogging. I'm fully signed up now, man. But I'm a man of total extremes. So if I'm doing something, I do it hardcore all the way. So when I was drinking every night to drunken point. Like 10 years. And then literally overnight, I just stopped. And it was the same with smoking and drugs and everything. Overnight, I just stop, and then I go hardcore the other way. So it's been a few years now that I've been doing the broccoli and the jogging and the herbal teas. So I think there's kind of a stark reversal that's going to be coming soon. So if you speak to me in like 3 years' time, I'll be like a heroin addict.
Yeah. Be living under the bridge.
So what sort of shenanigans are you going to get up to on your new tour then? If you're not going to be wrecking your tour bus and kicking doors off.
It's going to be crazy, man. If I, at the current state, we're all going to be sitting around sipping herbal tea and having an early night, I think.
Leave your slippers at the door of the tour bus.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that the other boys are going to be way more rock and roll than me, and they can cause the chaos and the havoc, and I can just tag along.
Yeah, but you'll be in bed at 9 o'clock, and they'll still be partying.
Exactly. Yeah.
What did I miss, boys? So, you got anything else to promote, James?
At the moment, no. It's just the new album, Make Anchor Great Again, is my latest album. It's only been out a few months. It's available on Spotify and all the usual places. You can buy the CD as well. It comes in a sexy kind of like cardboard gatefold CD pack, which is cool. You can get that in HMV. It's in the stores and if you're online. The book Noise Damage is also available on Amazon and Waterstones and anywhere that you get books. And that's it, really. So just check me out online. I'm on all my socials is James Kennedy UK on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can get links to all my sort of other material and stuff on there, and come and say hello, really.
Have you got an audio book?
Yes.
Did you read it yourself?
Yes.
Cool, man. See, I think audiobooks, they should be read by the people that write them,
Yeah. Like it was an option to have somebody else read it, but then I listened to the demos and I was like, it's like because it's my story, it's about my life and the things that I got up to. I was there, so I kind of know how it's how it was at the time,
Yeah.
So so I kind of read it, as I talk, and I with all the sort of passion and anger and aggression that happened in that moment. So hopefully, it just adds an extra level of realism to the to the story,
Yeah,
so it was quite fun. It was really hard.
Yeah, really?
Really hard to do, surprisingly hard. Like, because I've realized how bad I am at reading. I'd have to do everything like I'd paragraph. I'd have to go back and like do it again like 5 times for a whole book.
Yeah. Did you record it at home?
Say that again?
Sorry, Dave.
Go on,
Dave.
I said he should have used smaller words.
No. Yeah.
Well, as you'll see when you read the book, if you do look at the book, there's not many long words in there. It's mostly words that begin with F and C.
Okay.
Is that for Christmas?
Yeah. You don't have to read it after all.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely have to download the audio book then, because yeah, you know, I can listen to it. I mean, I like listening to audiobooks also. I will read it also, but yeah, man, I'm excited to hear the audiobook in your own words, you know, literally in your own words.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy that. What you think, man, when you've had a chance to read it.
I will, yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. And thanks for all the support as well.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like I said, I picked you up a few years ago when I had Misfits, and that was like everybody seems to be. And you've got some sort of Facebook group of Misfits, or?
Yeah, well, Misfits kind of became the name of like the fan club after that song.
Okay.
And yeah, they are a dysfunctional bunch of misfits from various corners of the earth that kind of set up like Facebook groups and things like that. And yeah, they're cool. So they are the Misfits. So if you see that online, then that's not me. That's other people's sort of pages to do what talk amongst themselves and things like that.
Yeah. That's nice. We're trying to build a group now with our Facebook page. So, but yeah, my girlfriend said you need to come over and sing that song at our wedding. So I said,
sure thing, man.
We can't afford to pay you, but
oh, that's all right. Any chance to get to Holland, you are, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm in Holland. Yeah.
Any excuse to come to Holland, I'll be there. So yeah, just let me know when. I'll be there.
All right, cool, man. I'll hold you to that, mind.
I've
got it on recording now.
Yeah.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer, mind. All right then, James, we're going to let you go.
Thank you, man. Well, thanks for having us on, and thanks for all the support. And it's been great to chat to you guys and speak to you in person at last.
Yes, and you. And yeah, we can't thank you enough, really, for coming on, being our first guest.
Oh,
yeah. So,
honor.
Yeah, thanks a lot, James. Thanks a lot. And I'll be definitely going on your website later on and buying all your albums, man. I love it. It's great. It's the new album is sound. That Struggles on your new album. What a track. Amazing track.
Thanks, man.
Really,
Appreciate
really
it. Yeah. That's a lot of people's favorite track, that one. Yeah, so you never know when you make a thing, you never know which one's going to hit the most with people, and Struggles is one of the ones that comes up time and time again. So I'm glad you like it, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. Because I wrote them all down and I thought I put a tick against every one that I like. I ended up ticking every bloody one. So I've not been able to speak about any individual ones, unfortunately, because cracking, absolutely cracking album. Really, really good.
Thank you, man. I'll let you know when we're, when the band's up and running and we got some dates and stuff as well. I'll let you guys know, because I mean, I don't know what the Brexit situation is going to be like for touring abroad, but we'll definitely be doing some UK dates. So I'll let Dave know, and if you're free, dude, we'll get you a guest on the guest list and everything. You can come and check us out.
Awesome. Oh yeah, definitely will. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
I'll Kat your regards as well. Your compliments.
Okay. Yeah. What's her socials?
I got some nice photos of it from Steelhouse.
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, send them over. She would love to see them. She's at Cat Southall. It's just plain and simple. So it's CATSOUTHAL.
Yeah.
Okay. On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. But I think Instagram is the main thing.
Okay.
Cool.
Maybe we can get her on for an interview one day.
Yeah. You might regret it, but yeah, she'd be up for it.
It won't be that bad. It won't be that bad.
But if you want to, let me know. I'll have a chat to her.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do some background into a band or whatever. I don't know what she's doing at the moment, but I'll have to look into it myself. Yeah. And like I said, Dave's already seen us, so. And then
really good live. Very good.
What sort of music is it? Just rock music or?
Well, the new project, Hey Hello, you saw it, Dave, wasn't it, in Steelhouse? Yeah, so that was like kind of like pop punk, hard rock sort of stuff, isn't it? But that's not her band. That's like Ginger Wildheart's band. So she just sings in that. Okay. But the stuff she was in a punk band before that. But her last solo album is like kind of like punk rock, alternative sort of stuff. But this new album that she's working on now is electro pop. It's like a total diversion away from rock altogether, and it sounds amazing. She's used an awesome producer called Zach Lloyd, who's a Welsh boy as well, and it sounds amazing. So yeah, we're both really excited about it. So that's very much kind of in the works at the moment. So that's a new project. So she'd be more than happy to come and talk to you about that.
Okay, cool. So sort of a Welsh Kylie moment, is it?
It's kind of like, it's hard to describe really, and maybe I shouldn't sort of give too much away in case she wants to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
It's different. It's very different.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, do you know when it's going to be coming out, or?
We don't yet, because obviously it could come out this year. It'll be ready, you know, sort of soon. But it's like, do you release it in a pandemic? You know, or do you wait?
Yeah.
So it might be a case, because it's like a good summer album. It might be a case of waiting and sitting on it for a bit. Like I couldn't sit on my album. I was like, I want to get it out. And you know, in hindsight, maybe if I'd waited a bit, it would have been, I could have done some shows. You know, I wouldn't have had any issues with YouTube and Trump and all that sort of stuff. You know, if I just waited a bit. So I think maybe she might hang back on it. I think. Okay,
that's cool. Okay, yeah, very good. Be interesting to see and hear probably.
Yeah. I really like it, man. I think it sounds really cool. But I'll have a chat to her now and say, you know, we'll have a chat to these pair of heathens and.
Yeah, cool, man. We'll be in touch. Yeah, you can just drop me a mail, you know, and
cool.
if she wants to have a chat or whatever. Well, any coming news about your band being on the road then? Not during the pandemic, obviously, but have you got any rehearsals in?
Not yet, man. Well, just remotely, you know, like people are recording bits and sending it back and forth, like learning the parts and stuff, you know. And that's as far as it's gone at the moment. It's so difficult because, you know,
everything's closed, so.
Was closed, we can't rehearse, and you know, there's no point. We don't want to go too hard on it when we haven't got any dates booked yet. Booking it, like, you know, they don't want to book anything up which they're gonna have to cancel. So it's all kind of up in the air. So that's why I thought, well, it's ticking over. I'm super excited about it, but it's not going to happen, you know, next week or next month. So I'm going to focus on the next book because my book agent is nagging me to sort that out. So I'm going to focus on that for a bit, and then hopefully we'll have a bit more clarity then on how things are looking with, you know, the live situation, you know. But that's as soon as I get the green light on that, I'm going to be going for it hell for leather, man.
Is that going to be just the James Kennedy band, or is it going to be called something else?
It'll be James Kennedy and a band.
So basically James Kennedy then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's all about me, man.
That's all right. You put all the work in, mate. Why not?
I'm an author now, so fuck those other guys. You know what I
mean? Living the high life.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you'll have to have your own tour bus.
Yes. I'll be smashing up my own bus, and they'll be sleeping in separate quarters.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, all right, cool, man. Like I said, nice to meet you, and appreciate it for you coming on.
Anytime. I'm free and available all the time. So anytime, you know, you've got a hole to fill, just let me know and I'll come on.
Well, David's going away on the weekend, so maybe you can come back on again.
Standing. No, but best of luck with it. You know, I'm honored to be your first guest. So you know, I hope it continues to grow and grow, and you know.
Yeah, as long as we're consistent, I suppose, and that's going to be the main thing, you know.
Yeah. But it's certainly fun, you know, like the laid back style is, you know, that's part of the appeal of a podcast, isn't it? Where it's not too rigid, you know, you just chat in and, you know, what it goes wherever it goes, you know.
Yeah, that's where we try not to take it, but
right.
well, I take it there, but David tries to rein it in a bit.
Well, yeah, but that was cool because I will ramble and you know, so it's good to have some kind of like, you know, boundaries in place.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Right, I'll let you get your dinner.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yes, it should be kicking the door down now in a sec. So good to meet you guys. Thanks for having us on.
Not another rep
thanks so much, James. Thanks,
all right, thanks, man.
See you guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. Yes.
How cool is that?
Mr. Dave. So did you enjoy it?
Well, cool. I can breathe now.
Did you enjoy your first
good.
interview?
Yeah, it was good. Really, really good. And you know, because like I said, I've always been on the other side of it, and I probably always will be because I haven't got any talent. So I'm kind of like where I am. But it's just good to get a perspective of, you know, what these guys have got to go through. You know, to get a record out there, and you know, like with James, obviously writing books as well. That's an extra string to his bow, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
but,
that's really
really
smart.
What a talented guy. What a talented guy. Really, really down to earth, and you know, his music is fucking blown me away. He's absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
really, really good. Really good.
Well, don't big him up too much. You might watch back and see what you're saying about him.
Oh, that's right. Don't come back on then. Yeah, really, really cool. Well happy with that. Well happy.
All right, cool. Yeah, I like your interview skills. I think they were pretty good.
Cool.
So I know you were really interested, so I thought I'd let you take the lead. Like I said, I've already done it quite a lot within the music industry, and I've got quite a lot of relatable stories with James, you know, about how about the struggle and how hard it can be. So I'll bring them up in the future on our future episodes, I guess. You know, there's a lot of things still to know about me yet, but you know, we'll get
there. Good. That's what we want to hear.
So do you want to wrap it up? You got nothing else to say?
No, not really. I'll I think at the start of our next
you need
podcast,
to do your Perla shout out.
I'll do a bit more on Perla at the start of the next one.
Okay.
Because I got plenty of their t-shirts. So yeah, if you check them out on Facebook, they're all over Facebook, and yeah, they're real good band. So a couple of local lads. Wendell, who was aka Steve, who's their lead singer, has already joined our group. So hopefully, you know, I haven't spoke to Steve yet, but hopefully we can get him on at some stage. And you can talk about his music. And I know, you know, like with Steve, he's been in a lot of other bands as well.
Okay.
As of the other band members. So yeah, we can try and get a bit more information out of them then. But cool. I'll post some of their tracks on our podcast as well. But they're probably about the heaviest that I listen to. They're quite a heavy band really, compared to what I normally listen to. But they're great and a real nice bunch of guys as well. And they've actually announced quite a few gigs as well coming up. So there's a few coming up local. So like we've got a place up in the Patriot. There's a couple that have been happening. I think they're gigging in the Patty in Swansea as well. So I'm already getting the tickets for those. So I can go and watch them and catch up with them because I've really missed my live music. That's probably the biggest thing I've missed at the lockdown. Probably more so than family.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we must not forget to put James's socials in the links for this episode. And like you said, it's James Kennedy UK on all Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, I believe. So that's pretty easy to remember. But we will put links up, and we'll put a link up to his newest album, I guess. Yeah. And if anybody hasn't checked out his biggest love song, it's called Misfits by James Kennedy, and it's very relatable to most people in a relationship, I believe. So nobody actually fits together perfectly, I guess. But in that song, I think you can understand why, you know.
Yeah,
I think it's a great song. I think it's genius. So
yeah, it's a class song. It is a class song. Like I said too previously, the one bit in there where it says "adorably frustrating." I can relate with that to my wife.
Well, I find you adorably frustrating as well, Dave.
So what an amazing track that is. Very good.
But yeah, I hope people got enough humor out of today's episode, and then we'll get in touch with another guest. I don't know how we're going to put these guests out yet, whether we're going to put them out weekly or every other week. We'll just see how the podcast grows, I suppose. And we'll take it from there.
Yeah, see how many people watch it first. They might not want to come on.
Well, I don't think we did too bad a job with James, to be honest.
No,
I mean,
I don't think
luckily he likes to talk. So
yeah,
but yeah, he had enough to say, and it's nice to explore into his little world for a bit.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, the struggle is real. All them budding musicians out there that are listening to our podcast, the struggle is definitely real, as we know by our 2 years of learning to play guitar, Dave.
Definitely. Yeah,
So,
respect to them all. Respect to them all, man.
yeah. On that note, from me, it's an over and out. And on you,
and me,
you frozen.
it's a good night from you.
Good night from you. Oh, and don't forget our own socials. Facebook.com. Facebook.com/Just Chopsing. Instagram, Just Chopsing. Twitter, Just Chopsing. Everything's Just Chopsing. Yeah, you're frozen on me
like
again.
and share.
What's going on with you?
Keep chopsing.
Is it you freezing, or I hope my audio's not freezing, but because you've just frozen on me then. So I'll say them all again, just in case that we froze up. Our own socials are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Just Chopsing. And if you listen to the podcast, please join the private group, as we're going to try and start doing some different content.
Definitely,
yes.
Yeah. We've hit 30 members at the moment, so
in the Facebook group,
something special if we can get the 100 members, maybe.
Yeah, okay, that'd be cool. Okay,
yeah.
All right, over and out then.
Jiggle my junk about or something.
While I'm playing. Not with your junk, I mean with a guitar. Cool.